What's up, fantasy managers? Welcome back to another episode of the First Pitch Podcast brought to you by PitcherList.com. My name is Jake Crumpler, and I'll be your host for this edition of the podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake Crumpler, and you can find all of my work at CrumplerBaseball.com. Let's dive into everything baseball related from Sunday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Let's start things off with the transactions, injuries, news, and notes, and we'll kick things off with the bad news so that we can pick things up later with better news. Second baseman Otto Lopez was placed on the 10-day IL by the Marlins with a grade 2 right ankle sprain. Pretty unfortunate for Lopez. He's expected to miss 2 to 3 weeks as it's a pretty severe ankle sprain. In the meantime, Javier Sanoja is expected to take over at the keystone position for the Marlins. He's not very impressive with the stick. He's batting over 300, but his BABIP is really high. I think he's more of a defensive first type guy, which makes him not that interesting in fantasy. In a corresponding move, Nick Fortes was activated from the 10-day IL. He has been out for a while with an oblique strain, and he started at catcher versus a lefty in his return, and Agustin Ramirez shifted over to DH, and I think we could see that a lot more moving forward. I know the Marlins really like Fortes, so we'll see them get Ramirez's bat into the lineup at the DH position. Now let's take a look at some of our transactions, starting off with starting pitcher Lance McCullers Jr., who was activated from the 15-day IL to make his first regular season start since 2022. It's really been 3 years since McCullers has pitched in the majors, and he started in Chicago on the south side against the White Sox and tossed 3 2/3 scoreless innings, allowing 3 hits and 3 walks while striking out 4, inducing 6 whiffs with 22% CSW across 87 pitches. McCullers was down a mile per hour on his sinker compared to pre-surgery, and it looks like he needs to shake off the rust. He got away with a lot of mistakes in this one because it was the White Sox, and that's why you see no earned runs here, but we see the sub 4 inning pitch here with just 3 2/3 innings, and that is not a result of the Astros being cautious with McCullers as they allowed him to throw 87 pitches. It was really because he was really inefficient to right-handed batters as he failed to clip the edges of the zone with his sinker. This is Lance McCullers Jr. we're talking about, and he failed to return whiffs on his slider. He gets the Reds next. I think I'm going to sit back and watch a little more from McCullers in deeper leagues, 15 teams. I think I'd take the shot here, but in shallow leagues or in standard leagues, I think I'm going to wait a little bit on McCullers. For now, Ryan Gusto will pitch out of the bullpen moving forward, which has the Astros rotation set at 5. Next, we have third baseman Josh Rojas, who was activated from the 10-day IL. He's been out for the entire season with a fractured toe. He made his White Sox debut over the weekend. Roster Resource suggests he'll be on the strong side of a second base platoon, but he played at third base in his return, and I think he's going to see the majority of his time there. That's where he's played the majority of his career, so that's Josh Rojas for the White Sox. And lastly, starting pitcher Kyle Harrison was recalled from the minors by the Giants. His future role is still unclear. I don't know if he's going to replace Jordan Hicks and or Landon Rupp in the rotation, or if Kyle Harrison is going to pitch out of the pen. In 6 AAA starts, he had a 3.46 ERA, a 1.31 whip, a 33.3% strikeout rate, and a 7% walk rate. So pretty decent numbers from Harrison. But what I noticed that was really interesting is that in his last start, his fastball was up 2.5 miles per hour to 95 miles per hour. And that included 2 extra inches of IVB, a flatter approach angle, and more extension without sacrificing horizontal run on the fastball. So pretty interesting from Harrison, though we're going to have to see what kind of role he has for the Giants moving forward before jumping in fantasy. I'd take the shot in NL only leagues right now just because of the upside. In terms of news, outfielder Jackson Merrill is expected to be activated from the 10-day IL on Monday or today. He missed nearly a month with a hamstring strain and will reclaim everyday center field duties for the Padres, forcing Tyler Wade to the bench. That's Jackson Merrill returning to the lineup today. Next, we have outfielder Jesse Winker, who's expected to be placed on the 10-day IL tomorrow on Tuesday. Winker is dealing with a side injury that's likely oblique related. I would expect Brett Beatty to be back on his way back to the majors, which could be a big shakeup to the Mets defensive alignment. Winker was playing at DH, but I think we could see a lot of shifting around as they try to figure out how to replace his bat in the lineup. Next, we have third baseman Royce Lewis, who's also expected to be activated from the 10-day IL tomorrow. He's missed the entire season with a hamstring strain and will take over every day at third base for the Twins. The Twins are also expected to activate Willie Castro from the 10-day IL tomorrow. He's missed less than 2 weeks with an oblique injury, which is pretty surprising. You usually don't see guys return that quickly from an injury to your oblique. Castro is likely to see most of his playing time at second base, but he will also shift to the outfield from time to time. How things shake out from there, I'm not really sure. Brooks Lee had been filling in at the hot corner, and I expected him to shift to second base before seeing that Castro was returning as well. So maybe he sees more time at DH, or maybe we see guys shifting through that designated hitter role. But we are guaranteed to see Edouard Julien and Mickey Gasper forced to the bench and seeing less playing time for the Twins moving forward. Now let's take a look at the notable performances from Sunday, a day in which we had a full slate of 16 games as the Cardinals and Mets partook in a doubleheader. We'll start it off with our hitters, leading off with shortstop Willie Adames, who helped the Giants to a win versus the Rockies, going 3 for 5 with 2 runs, a double, 2 homers, and 3 runs batted in. He doubled his homer total as he's now up to 4 on the season. His first one traveled 392 feet at 103 miles per hour, and the second one went 398 feet at 102 miles per hour. It's been a slow start to the season for Adames, who's batting just .230 with a .675 OPS. He also signed the largest contract in Giants history in the offseason, so he's got a lot of money to live up to. Adames has displayed an ultra patient approach, which has led to improved contact ability, but also has led to more ground balls and balls hit to the opposite field, but he's also sporting a career high hard hit percentage. StatCast suggests Adames is underperforming at the moment, but only slightly. He's definitely hitting at a reduced level. He'll need to get back to lifting the ball and pulling the ball like he did on Sunday. Adames is batting second every day for the Giants, so I think he still needs to be rostered universally as we wait for him to bounce back over the summer. Next, we have third baseman Maikel Garcia, who helped the Royals to win in Baltimore, going 3 for 5 with 2 runs, 2 homers, and 2 runs batted in. He's up to 4 homers on the year now as well. His first one traveled 395 feet at 101 miles per hour, while the second one went 419 feet at 106 miles per hour. Garcia was touted as a breakout candidate last year in the lineage of guys like Yandy Diaz, Vlad Guerrero Jr., and Ke'Bryan Hayes. We were looking for Garcia to lift the ball more, to tap into his power via his hard hit ability. He was a guy who sported a 50% hard hit rate, but hit all of those balls into the ground. If he could lift them, then with the combination of his speed and his contact ability, we'd see a guy who could take off as a hitter, break out if he could tap into his power by lifting the ball more. Last year, he hit more fly balls, Garcia did, but not many more, and he watched his hard hit rate fall below 50%, and I fell off the hype train after being huge on it last year. And of course, now he's doing exactly what we asked for. Garcia's had a 3.5 degree increase to his launch angle. He's got a career high 53% hard hit rate. This is all before Sunday as well. He's also got a career high fly ball rate and a career low ground ball rate, while touting career best plate discipline metrics. This is Maikel Garcia. So everything we asked for, everything you want to see from Garcia, he's doing. He's got an everyday role, batting 5th or 4th for the Royals. He's got 30 plus stolen base speed, and now he has the potential to eclipse double-digit home runs. I think Maikel Garcia needs to be rostered universally. Next and lastly, we have outfielder Cody Bellinger, who did all he could, but the Yankees lost to the Rays. He went 1 for 4 with a run, a home run, 2 runs batted in, and a walk for good measure. He's up to 4 homers on the year now, and this one traveled 395 feet at 101 miles per hour. This is Bellinger's first season in the Bronx, and it is not going well, batting just 200 with a 640 OPS. The hope was that Yankee Stadium would be able to aid in Bellinger's power resurgence. He's eclipsed 20 homers just once in the past 5 seasons after belting 111 home runs across his first 3 seasons. StatCast suggests Bellinger's hitting the ball harder this year, but his exaggerated uppercut stroke and inability to pull the ball have maintained his power outage. Additionally, a more patient approach from Bellinger has actually hurt his contact skills. And unless Belly can figure out how to pull the ball more, all those fly balls are just going to keep staying in the yard because he doesn't have that type of opposite field power at this point in his career. And then on the other side, if he can't hit more line drives, he's going to maintain a low BABIP, which is going to lead to a suboptimal season, aided only by the run production numbers that he gets by hitting in the middle of the Yankees lineup. I'm very worried about Bellinger as it stands. But if you'd like a breakdown of other notable hitting performances from Sunday, check out the daily batters box article over on pitcherlist.com. Now we'll head to the mound and check out some notable starting pitching performances, opening with Eduardo Rodriguez, who helped the who helped the Diamondbacks to win in Philadelphia, tossing 5 1/3 innings, allowing 5 hits and 3 earned runs, while walking 4 and striking out 10. He induced 15 whiffs with 31% CSW across 101 pitches, and Eduardo Rodriguez did it again. That's the third start this season in which Erod has fanned at least 9 batters. The first one he fanned 12, last time at 9, and this is the third time that he's done so, fanning 10 here. Outside of 2019, when Eduardo Rodriguez fanned at least 9 batters 6 times, this is the highest. This is the best that he's done. 3 times in a season is his season high outside of 2019. He did that in 2023 and 2018. So we're seeing strikeout numbers that we don't usually see from Erod. But the real question is, can we predict this moving forward? Can we predict when he's going to do it again? The 4-seamer earning whiffs upstairs has been the catalyst in all of them. So that's really what we can look for, but I don't think it's anything we can predict. We saw 5 whiffs and 28% CSW here as the Phillies allowed Erod to pump them in the zone for 8 called strikes as well, while his changeup, despite being inconsistent, was spotted low for 4 whiffs and 22% CSW. Sinkers were also a key despite a right-handed batter-heavy lineup for 65% strikes, 3 whiffs, and 42% CSW because Erod's cutter wasn't controlled well to jam righties. I think Eduardo's still just a Toby streamer, but we have that lottery ticket chance that maybe he strikes out a bunch of batters like we've seen already multiple times this season. It's just not something we can bank on, and we can really only trust Erod in starts against weaker offenses, and definitely not in his next start against the Dodgers. Next, we have Stephen Kolek, who helped the Padres to win in Pittsburgh, tossing 5 1/3 shutout innings, allowing 4 hits and 2 walks while striking out 4. He induced 5 whiffs with 25% CSW across 84 pitches. Kolek was used solely as a reliever last year and has made the transition to the rotation this year. He made 5 starts at AAA this year, pitching to a 6.38 ERA, a 1.54 whip, an 18% strikeout rate, and a 4% walk rate. Really nothing special, so I didn't expect much here despite the cushy matchup in Pittsburgh. And we saw 0 earned runs from Kolek here despite 5 whiffs on 84 pitches, and that should really tell you everything you need to know if you're reading enough pitcher list. He relied on balls in play and called strikes as he pumped his sinker in the zone for 72% strikes, just 2 whiffs, but 8 called strikes and 31% CSW. All 4 of Kolek's Ks came against lefties. He pumped in 2 high sinker called strikes to O'Neill Cruz that caught him off guard, and then got a couple of backdoor sliders against Adam Frazier and Brian Reynolds. So it was clearly just catching batters off guard. That was his ability to get strikeouts. But those called strikes on those backdoor sliders also pumped up his slider CSW to 29%, which is respectable, but the pitch still earned sub 60% strikes and just 1 whiff. So it's not really what you want to see from a slider. So sadly, I don't think Kolek is somebody we need to chase, especially with the Rockies in Colorado next. Lastly, we have Tyler McGill, who did all he could, but the Mets lost in the second game of their doubleheader in St. Louis. He tossed 5 innings, allowing 4 hits and 4 earned runs while walking 3 and striking out 6. He induced 9 whiffs and 36% CSW across 90 pitches to earn the King Cole as that 36% CSW led baseball on the day. McGill's 4-seamer cooked as usual as he induced whiffs upstairs with the pitch, and batters either crushed or took the rest of them down the middle. He got 68% strikes on the pitch with 12 called strikes, 4 whiffs, and 47% CSW. 4-seamer cooked. And the sinker did pretty much exactly the same thing. Same strike rate at 68%, bunch of called strikes with 8, just a pair of whiffs, but we see 36% CSW on the sinker. So a lot of success on the fastball and sinker, but they sort of got crushed because he didn't have the secondaries to support them. He failed to jam righties with the sinker as well, which led to those getting crushed. So sinker and fastball leaking over the plate led to lots of loud contact. but the slider fell below the zone constantly. He was unable to get strikes on it. 44% strikes, just 2 whiffs, and 19% CSW, while the changeup sort of failed to support against left-handed batters as well. Tyler McGill got just 29% strikes, 1 whiff, and 29% CSW on that changeup. And it's crazy that he still was able to lead baseball in CSW despite the off night. That shows just how good that fastball and sinker combination are. I think we can ultimately write this one off. His slider command should be much better next time McGill gets the Cubs in New York next time. I think you got to start him there with how good he's been this season. But if you'd like a breakdown of every single start from Sunday, give the Plus Pitch podcast a listen and check out Nick's daily SP roundup over on pitcherlist.com. Now we'll head to the bullpen and check out the relievers that got saves and the closers that pitched outside of save situations or blew their saves. Starting with the former, Ryan Helsley recorded his 5th save with a scoreless 9th. Tyler Ferguson recorded his 1st save with a perfect 9th. Mason Miller blew a save and threw 28 pitches on Saturday, so they gave him the night off on Sunday. Jalen Beeks recorded his 1st save as he worked around the zombie runner scoring in the 10th to earn his 1st save of the season. That's Jalen Beeks, because Shelby Miller allowed 2 runs in the 9th to blow his 2nd save. If you're wondering about Kevin Ginkel, he also allowed a run in the 7th inning, so not looking too great in terms of trying to predict saves in Arizona. Yohan Duran recorded his 4th save with a scoreless 9th. Pete Fairbanks struck out the side in order to record his 8th save. Emmanuel Clase worked around an unearned run to record his 7th save. Kyle Finnegan recorded his 11th save with a perfect 9th, and Raisel Iglesias pitched a scoreless 9th to record his 6th save. In terms of closers to pitch outside of save situations or below their saves, Edwin Diaz pitched a scoreless 8th, down by 1. In the second game of a doubleheader, he also hadn't pitched in over a week, so it really makes sense that Diaz would get a maintenance outing here. Jose Alvarado allowed 4 runs while recording 4 outs across the 9th and 10th to take his first loss. Rough outing there from Jose Alvarado. I feel like he's going to bounce back, though. Trevor McGill pitched a scoreless 9th, up by 4. He hadn't pitched since Wednesday, so it was a maintenance outing for McGill. Luke Jackson pitched a perfect 9th, up by 7. He hadn't pitched since Wednesday, so same thing there. And Will Vest, same as well. Scoreless 9th, up by 12. He hadn't pitched since Tuesday, so definitely needed some action here. But if you'd like more information on relievers, check out Rick Graham's weekly articles over on pitcherlist.com. And before we look forward to today's games, we're going to take a quick break. Now we'll look forward to Monday, May 5th, a day in which we'll have just 10 games on the slate. My matchup of the day is Cole Ragans versus Shane Smith. Not only do we have an interdivision matchup, maybe not super competitive as we got the White Sox in there, but both of these guys are super fun to watch. Great changeups from both of them, Ragans and Smith. Should be a blast. We haven't seen Ragans start in a while, so I'm sort of interested to see how he goes after being skipped in his last start. And Shane Smith, just looking to see if he can show some more stamina, push deeper into this game, really show some future potential as somebody that can pitch deeper than 5 innings without his velocity completely disappearing. So Ragans versus Shane Smith tomorrow should be worth a watch. In terms of probable starters, we got 3 guys in the auto starts tier, including Ragans. We've also got Carlos Rodon versus the Padres and Bryce Miller versus the A's in their home ballpark. In our probably starts tier, we've got 2 guys, and that's where we'll find our streamer of the day in Matthew Boyd as he takes on the Giants in Chicago. Boyd is definitely a Toby, and he didn't do that great last time out against a weak Pirates lineup, but the Giants lineup is not one that's super scary. Despite the team success this year, that lineup isn't overwhelming. So I think Boyd, as somebody who just needs to go out there and showcase command, if he does that, he's going to succeed against the Giants. I think it's a pretty easy start there for Matthew Boyd. I'd also keep an eye out for Ben Kasparius as he takes on the Marlins in Miami. He's somebody who has not pitched deep into ball games yet this year because he just got shifted to the rotation. So really what we're hoping for is Kasparius to pitch 5 innings so we can get that almost guaranteed win against the Marlins. And outside of that, Kasparius has displayed the ability to pitch really well in extended stints as well. So what I'm hoping for, obviously, is the win, but just for Kasparius to pitch well against the Marlins. We really just need him to get that win. So just survive 5, please, Kasparius. In terms of hitter suggestions, I go for Mets hitters versus Ryan Nelson and the Diamondbacks. Nelson is making his first start of the year as he fills in the rotation. He's got a 5.82 ERA out of the bullpen, so not sure how well this one's going to go for Nelson. Hopefully the Mets hitters can take advantage of that. I'd also look at Mariners and A's hitters in Sutter Health Park. Definitely very very offensive friendly ballpark, and we'll see Bryce Miller take on Luis Severino there. I'd also check out Cardinals and Pirates hitters in Busch Stadium. Nothing special in terms of the stadium or the teams, but the pitching matchup is Carmen Mlodzinski and his 6.58 ERA versus Miles Mikolas and his 4.66 ERA. So I think we're definitely going to see a lot of runs here. The Pirates and Cardinals hitter should be able to take advantage of this pitching matchup. And now we'll close things out with our relievers to watch. Once again, just a 10-game slate tomorrow, so not too many relievers you can take advantage of here. But Emmanuel Clase is pitched on back-to-back days, so we'll likely see Cade Smith get the ninth for the Guardians on Monday. And lastly, Raisel Iglesias is pitched on back-to-back days, so maybe we'll see Daysbel Hernandez or Dylan Lee get the ninth for the Braves today. But that'll do it for today's episode of the First Pitch Podcast. Make sure to head on over to pitcherlist.com to check out all of the great articles and features we have on the site. Sign up for PL Plus or PL Pro to gain access to the Discord and to support the Pitcher List staff. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake Crumpler. Tune in live on YouTube tomorrow and every day for a new installment of the podcast. And make sure to enjoy the day as we are blessed with another day of baseball.